My wife and her double life. Chapter 2 gained his approval. Shen Beiyi stared at Ning Xiaoxi, who was looking wary, inhaling a deep breath. She crouched and brought herself eye level to him. Do you think such an outstanding man like your father will ever be interested in a woman like me? I changed my background information so that I can find a job easier. Upon hearing that, Ning Xiaoxi looked her up and down. This new nanny looks and dresses plainly, but she is much more pleasing to the eye than the previous 20 over women who were all dolled up. Humph! All women are prone to pretense, he muttered. Nevertheless, he didn't ask Shen Beiyi to leave. He then made his way out of the covers before raising his tiny arms and ordering her, "Change me." Gazing at the little boy's arrogant expression with his head lifted high, Shen Beiyi's heart melted. She took the shirt and pants beside the bed and dressed him tenderly and meticulously, her eyes shining with undisguised love. "Here, raise your arms." Ning Xiaoxi obediently raised his arms and legs as ordered. Actually, he'd learned such a trivial thing as dressing himself long ago, but for some reason, he wanted her to help him change. The scent wafting from her is very soothing and is exactly how a mother would smell like. Done. Shen Beiyi gazed at a newly changed Ning Xiaoxi with satisfaction. Then, she picked up the bowl on the bedside table and coaxed gently. You haven't eaten, have you? Here, I'll feed you. If you go hungry, you won't be able to grow taller. Ning Xiaoxi snapped back to reality and realized that he'd actually spaced out before this woman. All at once, he frowned. I don't need you to feed me. Then, do you want to eat by yourself? I don't want to eat. Shen Beiyi was surprised. He was behaving perfectly fine 1 second ago. So why did he suddenly throw a tantrum again? However, when it came to him, she had indefinite patience. If you don't eat, you won't have enough nutrition. And without enough nutrition, you won't be able to grow taller. You know. Humph. Did you think I am a 3-year-old kid? Ning Xiaoxi turned his head away crossly. I said I don't want to eat. And I mean what I said. Go away and don't pester me. For a long while, the room was silent. Ning Xiaoxi's heart skipped a beat. Don't he tell me that woman is so impatient that she really decided to leave? Turning his head surreptitiously, he inwardly breathed a sigh of relief upon glimpsing the person who stood rooted to the spot. Then, he blurted awkwardly, "This tastes awful, so I don't want to eat it." Shen Beiyi, who was contemplating on how to persuade him to eat, immediately perked up and asked, "What do you want to eat? I'll cook it for you." With his tiny head raised high, Ning Xiaoxi demanded, "I want to eat egg noodles without spring onions." "Sure, I'll cook it for you at once." At the offices of Ning Group, Ning Shaochen received a heartwarming video, in which Ning Xiaoxi was sitting at the dining table, while Shen Beiyi was sitting beside him and feeding him noodles bit by bit. Her eyes filled with love. Although Ning Xiaoxi had a cold expression on his face, his body was tilted slightly toward the person beside him. Plus, he'd asked her for food on his own accord, clearly exhibiting an intimate stance. Young Master Shaochen. It looks like little young master has accepted the new nanny. Looking at the message sent by Madame Liu, an elderly servant of his, Ning Shaochen was assailed by an unknown emotion. He'd recruited dozens of nannies for Xiaoxi, but all were driven away by him. Finally, a nanny gained his approval, but it was a person whose identity and motive were suspicious. He snubbed the remaining half of the cigarette he'd been smoking before dialing a number. His brows creased. Is Shen Beiyi's identity really beyond dispute? On the other end of the phone, Liu Shu replied in exasperation. Well, young Master Ning, you've asked this question multiple times. And I've already ascertained her identity multiple times as well. It indeed matches the written information. So her background is squeaky clean. Plus, I've talked to her and found her to be quite honest. That's why I recommended her to you. Why? Is she trying to seduce you like the previous nannies? Previously, many nannies had used the pretext of taking care of his child to deliberately get closer to Ning Shaochen, which Liu Shu was aware of. Hence, he de-investigated Shen Beiyi extremely carefully. For the time being. No, I just knew it. If she dared to seduce you when she looks that plain, she really has no self-consciousness. Shaochen has accepted her. Standing up, Ning Shaochen walked over to the floor-to-ceiling windows and gazed into the distance. Hey, it's truly rare for somebody to be accepted by that little brat. Liu Shu complimented. Why are you so suspicious when it's a wonderful thing? This is your last chance. So if you miss it, don't ask me to find someone else for you anymore. Ning Shaochen quietly grunted an acknowledgement before he hung up the phone. He trusted Liu Shu's abilities. Could it be that it's truly me who is too suspicious? Anyway, there are bodyguards and security cameras at the Ning residence, so I don't have to worry that the woman would do something untoward. At night, when Ning Shaochen brought his fiancée, Gawen, home with him, they heard faint laughter from the second floor. Shaochen, is that Shaochen? The woman with delicate makeup beside Ning Shaochen exclaimed in surprise. I've never heard him laugh. At this time, Madame Liu came forward cheerfully. Yes. This villa had always been quiet and serene as though there weren't a child here. But look how lively it is now. Beiyi is really something else. Beiyi is, Gawen asked, slightly anxious. The new nanny, Ning Shaochen explained placidly. Upon hearing his words, Gawen's expression froze for a second, but her gentle smile was back the next moment, when she saw that Madame Liu was holding a plate of fruits to take upstairs. She asked, Madame Liu, is that for Shaochen? I'll take it upstairs for you since I have a present for him. Welcome to download Flipread app to read my wife and her double life novel full story online.